March 31st, 2016, Hawthorne, California. Elon Musk walks out on a stage, pulls back a curtain, and shows the world a $35,000 electric car. The crowd lost their minds. Within 24 hours, over 115,000 people put down a $105,000 deposit for a car they had never even seen. By the end of that week, the number hit 325,000. That was the largest pre-order event in the history of the automotive industry. But that's not the story I want to tell today. Today, I want to tell you the full story. What the Model 3 actually did to the car industry, what it does brilliantly, and the things most reviewers won't say out loud. Because the Tesla Model 3 is one of the most important cars ever built, and one of the most controversial. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Most Tesla videos fall into one of two camps. Either they're written by people who think Elon Musk is a genius and Tesla can do no wrong, or they're written by people who hate Tesla and can't wait to tell you it's overrated. I'm not doing either of those things. This video is going to cover the real history of the Model 3, why it genuinely changed the world, and then the stuff nobody's talking about, the depreciation, the quality concerns, the software issues, and whether this car actually makes sense for you to buy in 2025. No fanboy, no hate, just the full picture. Let's start at the beginning. To understand the Model 3, you have to understand where Tesla was before it existed. In 2008, Tesla launched the Roadster, a $100,000 electric sports car. Cool, exclusive, totally inaccessible to most people. Then came the Model S in 2012, a $70,000 plus luxury sedan. Beautiful, revolutionary, still expensive. Tesla was winning awards and press coverage, but they were making cars for millionaires. The company's survival depended on building a car that regular people could actually afford. That was the Model 3. Elon Musk had promised it as far back as a 2006 interview, a $30,000 electric car for the masses, the master plan. When the reveal happened in 2016, nobody in the traditional auto industry took it seriously. BMW, Mercedes, Toyota. They watched and shrugged. It's Tesla, they said. They missed deadlines. They'll never pull it off at this scale. They were wrong. In June 2021, just 4 years after delivery started in 2017, the Tesla Model 3 became the first electric car in history to pass 1 million global sales in June 2021. Just 4 years after delivery started in 2017, the Tesla Model 3 became the first electric car in history to pass 1 million global sales. And then the industry stopped shrugging and started panicking. Here's something that gets lost in all the Tesla fan debates. Before the Model 3, the EV market in the United States was nearly non-existent. In 2011, the US sold fewer than 10,000 electric vehicles total, the whole category. The Model 3 didn't just grow that market, it created it. When it became clear that people would line up around the block for an electric sedan, virtually every major automaker on the planet suddenly had an urgent EV strategy. Ford launched the Mustang Mach-E. GM restructured its entire company around electric vehicles. Volkswagen committed to spending hundreds of billions on EVs. BMW launched the i4, directly targeting the Model 3's price point. None of that happens without the Model 3. One analyst put it simply, the Model 3 single-handedly forced the entire automotive industry to embrace an electric future. And the numbers back it up. As of 2025, the Model 3 holds about 16% of the entire US electric vehicle market, in a category that now includes over 50 competing models. And when you combine Model 3 and Model Y sales, Tesla still owns nearly 59% of all EVs sold in America. That's not a product. That's a cultural reset. Okay, so why do people actually love this car? Let's talk about what it genuinely does well. Performance. Even the base Model 3 rear-wheel drive goes 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. The long-range AWD does it in under 5. The performance model, 3.1 seconds. That's supercar territory in a family sedan that starts under $51,000. Nothing else in this price range touches that. Range. The 2026 Model 3 starts at $38,630 and offers up to 363 miles of EPA-rated range. That is class-leading for the price. The Supercharger network. This is genuinely one of Tesla's biggest advantages, and it's underrated in most reviews. Tesla has built the most reliable, fastest, and most widespread charging network in the country. Road trips in a Tesla are genuinely easy in a way they still aren't in most other EVs. Over-the-air updates. Your car gets better while you sleep. Tesla can push software updates to add features, improve performance, and fix issues without a dealership visit. No other mass-market brand does this as seamlessly. Technology. The 15.4-inch touchscreen controls almost everything. Love it or hate it, and we'll get to that. It is genuinely one of the most advanced cabin interfaces in any production car. In 2025, Edmunds named the Model 3 the top-rated electric car of the year, recognizing its range, performance, and overall driving experience. Alright, here's the part most Tesla content skips. Because the Model 3 is not perfect, and if you're thinking about buying one, you deserve to know the full story. Problem 1. Depreciation. Tesla has been cutting prices aggressively for the past few years. That's great if you're buying new. It's painful if you already own one. Edmunds ran a long-term test on a 2024 Model 3 long range, purchased for $48,630. After 1 year of ownership, the car's trade-in value, $31,000. That's a loss of nearly $18,000 in a single year. Roughly 36% of the purchase price gone. For comparison, the Toyota Camry loses around 15–20% of its value in year 1. The F-150 we covered last week holds value even better than that. If you're planning to keep your Tesla for 8 to 10 years, this matters less. But if you lease or plan to sell in a few years, the depreciation risk is very real. Problems 2. Build quality. Tesla has improved significantly from the early days, but improved doesn't mean fixed. The 2024-2025 Model 3 has accumulated over 280 complaints filed with NHTSA. The most common issues involve safety systems, steering, and electrical systems. The complaint rate runs higher than the average for the sedan segment. In Germany's TV 2025 report, 14–20% of 2 to 3-year-old Model 3s failed inspection due to significant defects, more than double the overall average. Panel gaps, paint inconsistencies, interior rattles, these are not rare complaints. They're consistent patterns across multiple years of production. Problem E3, the no stocks controversy. The refreshed 2024 Model 3, called the Highland, removed the traditional turn signal and gear selector stalks. In their place, buttons on the steering wheel. Edmunds called the turn signal buttons unsafe, criticizing both the design and the placement. Owners report accidental inputs and a learning curve that takes weeks to unlearn muscle memory built over years of driving. Tesla heard the feedback. The 2026 Model 3 brought back a turn signal stalk. But the fact that this change ever shipped to production is a signal about how Tesla sometimes moves fast and breaks things, even when things are basic safety controls. Problem 1.4. Full self-driving. The promise versus the reality. For years, Tesla has been selling full self-driving as an add-on package, at times priced as high as $12,000. The name implies the car drives itself. It doesn't, not even close. The current FSD system requires constant driver attention, has caused documented accidents when misused, and has triggered multiple regulatory investigations. True hands-free autonomy on any road, in any condition, still not here. And after nearly a decade of promises, that gap between the marketing and the reality has become one of the biggest criticisms Tesla faces. Problem 5. Tesla's brand has become politically divisive. This one is uncomfortable, but it's real. Starting in 2024 and accelerating into 2025, Elon Musk's political activities began affecting Tesla's sales in measurable ways. Protests at Tesla showrooms, Tesla vehicles vandalized, surveys showing significant portions of potential buyers, especially in Democratic-leaning states, now say they would not buy a Tesla specifically because of Musk. Tesla's US market share fell from 55% of EV sales in 2023 to around 38% by mid-2025. Not all of that is Musk's politics. Competition intensified significantly too. But consumer sentiment is a real factor. If you're buying a car, you're buying a brand. And the Tesla brand in 2025 carries more baggage than it did in 2020. So where does all of this leave us? Here's my honest take. The Tesla Model 3 is genuinely one of the best driving cars you can buy for under $50,000. The performance, the range, the Supercharger network, and the technology are all class-leading. If you primarily charge at home, commute daily, and want the most technologically advanced sedan in its price range, the Model 3 is hard to beat, but go in with clear eyes. If you care deeply about long-term value retention, compare it against the BMW i4 or Hyundai Ioniq 6 before you commit. They're closing the gap faster than most people realize. If build quality and fit and finish matter to you, the Model 3 still trails the German competition in this area. And if you're someone who prefers traditional controls, a dealership experience, and a brand that stays out of the news, this car is going to test your patience. The Model 3 is a car that rewards people who love technology and can tolerate some rough edges. It penalizes people who want a polished, conventional experience. Neither of those things is wrong. They're just different buyers.
Don't miss the next video. Like this video and subscribe to the channel.
10 years after Elon Musk unveiled it on a stage in California, the Tesla Model 3 has done something very few cars in history have done. It changed the direction of an entire industry. Every EV you see on the road today, from the Ford Mustang Mach-E to the Chevy Equinox EV to the BMW i4, exists in its current form because the Model 3 forced it to exist. That's an extraordinary legacy. But the car is not without its flaws. And as competition gets sharper, from Hyundai, BMW, GM, and increasingly from Chinese brands that are starting to enter Western markets, Tesla's ability to coast on its first-mover advantage is shrinking. The next chapter of the Model 3 story is going to be more interesting than anything that came before. What do you think? Is the Tesla Model 3 still the best EV for the money? Drop your take in the comments. I read all of them. And if you haven't seen last week's video on the Ford F-150, the truck that's been America's bestseller for 49 straight years, check that out next. Links on screen. Hit subscribe. New video every week. See you next time.